and welcome to a new episode of WedMeGood After Hours. I'm joined here with Shweta from Baraati Inc., wedding planner extraordinaire, as well as Anand, who's the CEO and founder of WedMeGood. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Shweta, tell me a bit about Baraati Inc. and how you got into wedding planning as a business.
We got into wedding planning in 2014. So it's been a couple of years, almost over a decade now.
Same, we started WedMeGood in 2014 as well.
Right. So you guys know how it feels. It was a world where weddings were unstructured. There was a lack of, people putting an effort into explaining to the families or the client, for that matter, what is the right what is maybe the right approach to heading towards your wedding. How do you find the right people? How do you get the right vibe? How do you curate a wedding? So when we started, all of these questions were almost up in the air. I actually came from a background of media and entertainment, where a lot of my hands-on learning was about managing schedules, putting storytellings together, respecting timelines over and above everything, which was majorly missing in the wedding industry, for that matter.
I feel it's still majorly missed in the industry.
Yes, we're still working towards it as an industry. So when we started, we realized that there's a big gap in processes and systems in weddings. And that's where we focused on becoming India's first process-driven wedding planning company. And that's how we're here.
Amazing. First of all, congratulations on achieving all that you have achieved in this, span of time. You guys are definitely one of the most well-known planners in India. If I had to ask you, as a layman, what do wedding planners really do? Right? This is something that people ask us all the time, because they're like, people charge 6, 10, 20 lakhs for planning and uske andar decor bhi nahi include
Correct. Venue bhi nahi include kiya. Kuch nahi.
Bas free hai. So to that person, how do you explain it? What do wedding planners do?
I think this has been the toughest part of being a planner in India. So as a planner, I feel you're somebody who needs to set visions right. You need to set expectations right. Because Indian hospitality comes with a wide gamut of expectations. So what does a planner do? Sets the vision right, helps you put your expectations in place, helps you curate who are the right people in your given budget, helps you put your hospitality together. Does an elder need a like a wheelchair service? Do your guests need golf carts? Is there a requirement for additional, let's say, cab services required within the wedding movement? Logistics becomes a big part of it. Additionally, of course, curation. Because in 2025, I feel weddings are not just about let's do a mehndi, a sangeet, a wedding, but it's more about how is the mehndi reflecting my personality? How is the sangeet going to be the, like you guys were discussing, the wild techno night maybe, or just like a Bollywood night, whatever it is. And then how does the fairas or the wedding kind of reflect the families coming together, or personalizing it for the couple coming together? What are those small things that you can do to make it personalized and wow? So you are a curator, you're a guide, you're a mentor, you're a logistics handler, you're a friend, you're the 3 a.m. therapist, you're this much and so much more. Why does a planner charge what they charge? Because they choose to dedicate a lot of hours to you, and it's not just for that 1, 2, or 3 days. The timeline that somebody is giving to you is going to be anywhere from 3 months, 6 months to a year sometimes. And that's why you kind of got to respect the time over anything else. A planner can really help you put your budgets better together also. A lot of this comes also from the family, of course. In a city like Delhi, for example, everyone knows somebody to kind of help them out.
Jugaad.
Right? Yeah. Jugaad, or I know this person, so it can be either of the situations. But does a jugaad or I know somebody always help? Maybe, maybe not. And that's where your planner can possibly guide you better of what's the right route to take.
Do you feel like planners have better rates with venues, at least specific venues, than if a bride or groom were to go alone?
let me put it this way, that yes, if I'm doing business with a particular hotel or resort multiple times in a year and I'm only choosing to go back there, of course, right? But planners like us, where we work across the country and across the globe, I think it's more about having relationships with brands. So we work more with the corporate teams and we have stronger relationships there instead of just the individual properties.
So like at the Marriott or Taj or
Yeah,
whatever, the
correct.
chain levels.
At the chain levels. And I think that helps us, if not just in the contract value, it will give clients a lot of support in discounts, deliverables, customizations, maybe some leeway here and there for setups. It can be many a things which in that journey of creating a wedding can become big roadblocks sometime.
Yeah.
And also can affect monetarily.
True.
So yeah.
Anand, I think we see the same thing with Genie, right? With our service, wherein we do have that same parallel with venues. You want to comment on that a little bit in terms of uh, relationships with venues and whether that helps in getting better rates for brides and grooms?
No, I think, of course, if you work closely with specific venues, even individually at a unit level, as well as at a corporate level, chances are that it's not just about having a certain discount which they'll agree with. A lot of the hospitality brands, if you note, they get hundreds of queries every month. Getting them to respond to your specific query for the person to be taken seriously, their time is also valuable, and the hospitality representative's time is also valuable. So, of course, a planner as well as a booking concierge like a Genie ensures that level of seriousness and responsiveness.
Yeah.
And with regards to pricing, also, if you have the data, if you've worked with them in the past,
Yeah. You know what the previous wedding was closed at, so you can give a more transparent
Just
pricing.
as an idea, like this season, we had a couple that wanted to do a wedding at a particular resort. They weren't getting dates, but because we do weddings with them very often, we worked out a middle date in between their weddings. So,
Oh, nice.
so it can really, I think it really depends a lot on what is the couple wanting or the family wanting. How do you want to channelize it into certain few options? If you're just looking at that one particular property, then ideally, please start planning a year in advance because venues get booked out.
I always tell Anand that I think it's a little bit of a thankless job
It is.
because whatever is wrong, they will remember, but
Yes.
99.9 things that went right go kind of unnoticed.
100%. You can't be a planner if you don't absolutely enjoy creating stories and, celebrating other people. You can't. It's impossible.
if I can just add, while she was speaking, I just realized one thing when she said, do you want us to do our job, or do you want us to do the job which you want us to do? I'm sure with the Indian construct, it's even more complicated because it's not just the couple and maybe their parents. Chacha ji, mami ji, everybody has an input and a say, and you can't really offend anybody.
No, you can't.
You mentioned, you planning weddings all over India, and have you planned a wedding outside of India as well?
We've done Thailand and Sri Lanka and Florence, but this was mostly all pre-COVID. Post-COVID, we've been mostly doing weddings in India at the moment, but we are looking mostly from 2026, 27 onwards, maybe venture out again.
Amazing. And people are now talking about the fact that weddings in Goa have now become so expensive. Like there used to be a budget, not budget, but I said in destination weddings, there's still, you can find affordable segments. But people have started comparing, say, Thailand and Goa and saying that maybe I get more value in Thailand for the same amount of money. As somebody who has seen all of these markets, what do you have to say in terms of someone
I feel
wanting
the
a beach?
comparison is not Thailand and Goa, it's Thailand and India.
Okay.
India is a more luxury market than Thailand at the moment. So anything in India is going to be more expensive than what you can get in Thailand.
Really?
Of course, Thailand is out there. I mean, their entire economy is basis tourism. So they are out there to service you the way you want it. From a 5-star resort agreeing to the fact that they will do corkage saves up a great amount on alcohol spends, for example. India, no five-star property will allow you to bring outside liquor. So costs go up. Logistics in India, especially in the more luxury destinations, such as maybe a Jaisalmer, a Jodhpur, uh, Udaipur. I mean, you guys must have seen the viral wedding that just happened. Logistics itself in any of these locations is much higher than in comparison to a Thailand. So yeah, I think the comparison is more between Thailand and India. India is a much more luxury market. Thailand is what we were maybe a few years ago, where we were also open to just getting weddings in India. A lot of Indians or foreign nationals living abroad do choose to come to India now to do their weddings.
We were just talking about this when we were talking about the Udaipur wedding in the previous episode, where I was like, whatever it is, I'm just happy they chose Udaipur. Like, if there are more weddings like this happening in India, maybe that will fuel even like how Italy is a destination wedding market of the world. India could be a destination wedding market of all of Asia. Right?
Absolutely. So, yeah, for me, I think the comparison is more between a Thailand and an India. Goa, if you want to talk about, I think Goa is like comfort food, no? Like Indians love going to Goa. But does Goa give you logistics and infrastructure? No, it doesn't, unfortunately, because of which a lot of your costs for the wedding go up. But it does give that comfort of to the families, just to take a domestic flight, reach well in their own timelines, not having to do a lot of prep with their guests. A lot of Indian families that travel abroad are mostly worried about their guests not being able to make it, because of passports, visas, travel, etc. So Goa is that comfort food space, I feel like, that you can get to this destination, do your thing. You have the wonderful beaches.
Yeah, and absolutely agree with what Shweta said. But with Goa, with the second airport coming up, right? Um, and for sure, logistics were quite a problem.
Yeah.
Until I would say definitely a year and a half back, issues with finding the right transporters and stuff over there who are at a decent price. We're used to a certain price for travel, and suddenly in Goa, even the flights and the travel within Goa become too expensive. I'm sure with the second airport and a lot of inventory coming in, it should be changing this year onwards, I would say.
Yeah, we were speaking to a couple of brides also who were on the podcast, and what they ended up telling us was that when they were going they started their hunt as a, they wanted to have a destination wedding, and when they went to these hotels, they realized that there were a lot of restrictions placed on them in terms of आप यही vendors choose कर सकते हो, आप यही. So they felt like they were being bound.
Absolutely.
And
as I said, the Indian hotels come, and let's talk about Goa. Goa comes with its own set of people that can service a particular hotel, let's say. The fact that you want to bring in somebody of your own choice is something that we usually have to talk about during our contracting. That we will want to bring in our own, let's say, decorator or artists out of the city, etc., whatever it is. Goa comes with its additional venue rentals over and above the, just the rooms. And the etc. that come. The alcohol pricing is higher. Small things like, when you want to do the basics for your guests, like a pop-up parlor setup. That room itself could be a venue rental extra. But whereas a buyout in, let's say in Thailand, means they will give you the key of the hotel and say, you own it, do whatever you want, we're good. I think that makes an Indian very happy, when you're out there. So, those restrictions are there, and they just add up one after the other. And because of which the spends internationally or nationally tend to come very close to each other. Whereas, and I think Indians love a little bit of that. We did an abroad wedding flex. So I think that works also very well for Thailand in that regard.
Let's talk a bit about wedding expenses, and if there's a new person like a bride or a groom who's planning their wedding, how should they look at it in terms of like a pie of where majority of the expenses will go in which bucket? Like what percentage goes to venue? Is it different for destination and local weddings? Would love to get some insight on it as a planner.
I think as a structure, it is pretty much 50 to 55% of it will go into the venue itself, with the venues within, the rooms, the meals. Alcohol comes as an additional in India. Your say about 30 to 35%, I feel, and I'm saying this because you guys, I'm sure, see how much on your platform also people talk about decor. So I think decor, if it's a priority, is about 30 to 35%. It can be leaned down or taken up depending really where your vibe sets. Um, Entertainment would be anywhere from 8 to 15%, I feel, depending on, again, the range or the category of artists and bands, etc., that you want to work with. Um, Photography, makeup artists, etc., would take up another 8 to 10% easy. But of course, nowadays you have some
Celebrity
really
makeup
celebrity makeup artists and
artists.
photographers. So a lot of this depends on the kind of scale you want to work with. These are just thumb rules of how possibly you can divide your entire bucket around. And then what are we missing? I think a lot of the logistics would come around a 15 to 20%, because a lot of time people miss out on that last mile stretch where you need additional luggage vans, you need maybe additional transport to support the family at the destination, you need some golf carts, etc. So those things come in. Maybe another 5 to 6% on your rituals, gifting. Gifting, I think, can be another whole category, by the
Yeah,
way. So
that's
I'm not touching that
like
one.
jewelry gifting and all. We can put it, aside
Yeah,
as services.
all of that is not my scope.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You
yeah.
want to add something here in terms of budget splits, etc.? Similar things we see.
Yeah, and we've also seen the stats being similar to what she mentioned, but evolve a little bit with our own industry reports, which have sort of tracked this over the years. You're right that venues are continuing to be a majority of the cost and only going up.
I feel a lot of times with Indian weddings, the venue becomes the address, and then the experience is the decor.
Okay.
So I think that's the maybe sometimes what families are going towards.
Yeah.
Whereas, like Anand said, if there's a couple or a family that's looking for very, again, minimal is not the right word, but
किसी को minimal नहीं चाहिए.
हाँ,
Minimal
मतलब
वाले भी maximally होते
the
हैं.
way I put it, I if anyone says minimal, I'm like, you're looking for not minimal grandeur.
Yeah.
There's always that juxtaposition of words going on. So it really depends, I think. But yeah, a venue is, I think, more of an address. And then you kind of, some
decor is
people
the
choose to use that address, whereas some people choose to create an experience within that address.
That's actually one of the reasons why look at a lot of the venues in Bangalore. They're set in such natural surroundings.
Yeah.
Incidentally, happens to be a city with good weather at least for 10 months in the year. They've done so well.
Yeah.
The whole ecosystem of how weddings are
What's
done in that city.
rustic venue which
Amrita Rasa.
Amrita
So
Rasa,
it's
yeah.
not just natural venues now, like you're saying. It's even the ones which give a sort of a religious and a
Rustic
spiritual
feel.
sort of a feel.
Yeah.
Well,
And I think that's where Goa wins many a times in this country, because people who don't want to do the palace weddings, want a more natural setting, will automatically go towards a Goa. Where, or a Rishikesh now. And oh, yeah, definitely. Now the hills are coming up.
Yes.
And
Especially
in
with
a
this
big one.
highway
Yes.
with Dehradun being so
Dehradun
connected.
is coming up how? Like I know quite a few chains that have invested in terms of making it as wedding destination. So hopefully there is a glass venue that comes up over
Yes.
there.
With the view of the
Yes,
hills.
with the view of the hills.
Amazing. Okay, so I'm still in conversation with Shweta and Anand, and we're going to get into some fun stuff about what brides and grooms are asking for from wedding planners these days. So, what are some of the crazy requests that you've heard recently?
Okay. As a planner, nothing is crazy. Let's start from there. But what's been unique is that I've got AI generated images from grooms saying this is what a Baraat wagon needs to look like, without any idea about the budget or the spend that comes to put a wagon together like that. I've got a request for luxury vatnas, which are,
What is a luxury vatna?
in your and on my time, we could just take besan,
Yeah.
curd, gulab jal, and mix it all together.
Vico turmeric.
Vico turmeric. However, new age brides have a thing for luxury vatnas where we're talking about gold foiling, we're talking about almond oil, we're talking about putting more products in for a better skin and healthy skin barriers.
So wait, there is somebody who makes these luxury
Yes,
vatnas.
yes.
And like there are
So you can choose like different kinds of oils that have to go in. You can choose probiotic milk. You can choose
almond
almond
milk, soy
Yes,
milk.
yes. You can choose all of that. You will have gold foiling. You want silver foiling. You
So
want
on their vatna, and they're putting it on their face, there's like gold foiling.
yeah.
something?
Remember how you had these gold scrubs, etc., that were in trend at one point of time. So you have those little things, and it's all made together as a luxury vatna that goes, and like with dried flowers, all of that. There was lately there was this one pink haldi also which got famous and all. So that's also the similar idea, but this is a much more luxurious version. That is more like new age kind of a haldi with. So this luxury vatna is about skincare plus not leaving a pale stain on you.
Wow, and learn something new every time I talk to a wedding planner. One more thing we were discussing when the cameras were off is there is something called wedding babysitters.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm also I think this was a gap because for a very long time we've been getting requests that okay we would have kids at the wedding, how do we keep them engaged and like how do we make sure they are not the ones who are spoiling all the decor or etc things that they do, right? And to make our little Baratis, as we call them, happy, I think there are services now available where there is babysitting at the weddings available, and they apparently look into ensuring that your child is safe, is well taken care of, well fed, is engaged while we are all trying to have a party.
So is it like a tiny creche that's formed at the venue?
Yeah, that's what I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, we have done that as planners.
Huh.
I think now there's a service available for it.
Oh, so you can just hire this service too.
Correct.
Wow. Very nice. I can't imagine like when we used to attend weddings and we were just like going crazy trying to get the snacks and this and that.
I'll go party.
Yeah.
I stay in the room. You go party. Yeah, that's the old school way of doing it. But I feel guests want this service, and it's out here now somewhere where you can take a babysitter to a wedding and have that service made and delivered at your wedding.
I think it's a great idea. Obviously, you have to be extremely careful about.
Yeah, I mean,
Security.
I've not personally tried it. I would want to do a lot of more research before taking this up because at the end of the day, we're talking about the little ones, and I feel as much care and as much precaution you take, every parent has their own way of managing their children. So we kind of got to respect that.
And again, the planner's role becomes even more critical.
Yeah.
Of that.
So I feel it's as parallel in my head as doing special effects because it is as dangerous or as fun. So it's really something that everyone kind of needs to take their own call with. But it is a good service. I think I think it
useful.
Helps.
Like
it is useful.
I had my brother got married and my son was I think a year and a half. And yes, we have nannies and stuff, but after a point of time, you're also like sending that kid home alone, or you're figuring out some other situation for them. So for moms out there, it's definitely a great service.
Absolutely.
Okay, so luxury vatnas as well as wedding babysitters is what we've learned today. Let's come into just, there are a lot of people who watch this who will be wedding planners themselves. As somebody who wants to break into, let's say, luxury weddings or even, let's say, luxury weddings, what is some advice that you'd give them, or what does it take to kind of understand this luxury customer? What do they look for in a planner? Any thoughts on that?
I think weddings in India in general, whether luxury, premium or not so premium, whatever it is, it's the biggest day for the family. So you can be servicing any segment of this industry, but it all comes at the risk of high intense patience. It comes with a lot of, as much on ground learning is less. So the more you experience firsthand situations, the better it is for you if you want to be a planner. You have to understand the number game in terms of what is available at what price point to help guide your families better. Um, a lot of, I think, the strength is in when you have strong vendor associations, people who can help you in situations you can reach out to for support or service for that matter. So having that is quite primary.
Have there been instances where like something went really wrong at the last minute and you had to kind of call a backup or
Yeah,
call a
no, I mean, I
favor?
think over this decade, Touchwood, we've been blessed with some really strong associations, affiliations, friendships. And I think they go a very long way. You never know who you're crossing paths with in this industry. I mean, you don't just work with a set of people. Top-down hierarchy. I literally, when I'm leaving a wedding, right from the GM to the guard who meets me at the porch, I thank everyone and I leave.
Amazing.
Because you never know how that guard will help you, to the mid-level manager, to maybe a salesperson, to maybe the GM. Everyone is important for you as a planner. And I think for at least at Baraati, that's been the ethos, that whenever my team leaves from a property, they will individually thank everyone in that circle of people that they are managing and working with. And it is on me to go and thank the GM, thank my sales spock, thank the guard, and make it happen. So I feel a lot of as a new planner, I think all of these, and plus a little bit of modesty that you're going to be learning every day on this business is something that you really need to be okay with. I feel when you kind of take that my way or the highway situation, it really it's I've never seen it go right, because there are too many stakeholders, there are too many opinions, and opinions that you cannot just say don't work. So yeah, I think those are few things that I can suggest maybe that could help somebody out there.
Nice. How did you end up getting your first clients? You said when you were a choreographer and that's how it came. And then most of it was word of mouth for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel the luxury market in India does not work through just saying luxury on your socials. It really works via networking. It really works via building trust. One of the things at Baraati Inc., which we have proudly kept up for over a decade now, is the fact that one of the founders will always be present at your wedding. And not just at the wedding, but through the journey. So I or my partner Shikha would be there at the wedding, right from saying, hello, Anand, we are going to get your daughter married, to, okay, bye, let's say vidai to her. So we're there through the journey.
Obviously, like we've spoken about luxury wedding planners like Baraati Inc., and they cater to a separate kind of segment in India. But we just recently came out with our industry report. And do you have any stats to share in terms of like what are the average wedding budgets that we are seeing in terms of local or destination?
Sure. I think even WedMeGood, while we get an audience from across the country, across all income groups, the fact that we have a high skew towards the top 15, 20 cities as well as destination wedding markets.
Yeah.
The fact that an average wedding among our respondents was, slotted in at about 40 lakh for all spends put together. And the average destination wedding was at about 60. For us, people who've seen the industry for more than a decade, these are numbers which show the industry obviously going from strength to strength.
Yeah.
If I have to be honest, leave alone a luxury wedding planner, even an entry-level wedding planner, from what our stats say, comes in where a wedding spend is, upwards of about 50 lakh, going in close to a crore. And as nobody better than, I would say, Shweta knows, there's no end to,
Yeah, there are way more. I think you have an option now also today. I know a lot of people who are getting into wedding coordination. so that families who maybe are not wanting a full team, a senior experience, etc., and they only want assistance, they can also choose that service. So I think our industry pretty much offers all price points. I feel a lot of our time, even today, before getting on board, is spent on educating our client about what we will do, how we will do it, what is our processes like. Are we going to be available for a call every day, or is it going to be? So, one of the things like at Baraati Inc. that we follow is one of our processes is that we have to meet our families once a week, at least, where we want our families' time and their inputs for that day. So, I block literally one day for every family in the week. So that's how it works. But again, from a coordination point of view, I feel it's more for, like you were saying, people who want to build into being full-fledged planners with bigger teams. I think it's a great starting point and a learning point from them.
Yeah.
Because they, until you go through the crazy expectations and the demands and the push that you get
Yes.
from families, it's very difficult to understand where to draw that line also.
True. Okay. We spoke about wedding budgets. There is also a stat in the report which talks about wedding loans. From a layman's perspective, is it a good idea to take a wedding loan to fund your wedding?
I think any loan which an individual takes which they can service is a good idea. And any loan which puts an unnecessary burden on them or their family is not the best idea. With wedding loans, I think your question is, and the reason why it can become a little bit of a taboo is people might feel 2 दिन के लिए या 3 दिन के लिए.
Or people might feel like taking a loan to have a wedding that's beyond your financial abilities. That's I think that's the, when people say wedding loans, that's the lens they look at it. Ki you have sacrificed your future financial health for the sake of doing a wedding that you want to show as, ABC.
But Mehak, see, the same question applies even with home, right?
Yeah.
There are many more couples and families who stretch themselves, and that's a much more organized sector, home loan, and because it's collateral backed, key, you could stand to lose your house if you're not able to service it. Banks are also able to give it easily, and there's a certain method to the madness. With weddings, because it's an unsecured loan and a lot of emotions at play, it becomes a little bit of a taboo. Going overboard, like in erstwhile times, it used to happen just to, you're talking about showing off, but even to match what the needs of the other families and stuff are. Thankfully, that's reduced. India has changed, it's changing, it's never binary, black or white, but getting towards a good direction. But if it's a family which knows what it's doing, is extending itself slightly, whether the millennials / Gen Z is doing that to buy an iPhone from their first salary or their 12th month salary or a wedding loan, as long as you can service it.
So as long as you can service a wedding loan and it's well in your means, as long as it's mostly to manage cash flow, it's not a big problem, because weddings are a big expense and you kind of have to manage that.
I think anything in India with regards to wedding is mostly a calculated risk anyways.
Well said.
Why would you take a loan? You will have a Monday after the Saturday, Sunday. Think about that Monday.
Yeah.
And I think...
I think what he mentioned is like maybe people don't want to give off their gold or sell their gold.
yeah.
So they'll take a loan against the gold. So they still have the value
Reduce
of the
your
gold.
guest list. It's a better option, I would say. Stats on this? Like, are
Yeah.
people actually taking this
Yeah.
up?
We have stats on this. We have about 6% of, in the survey, 6% took wedding loans
Oh, wonderful.
from banks, and
Another 15-20% take loans in some form or the other,
from
right?
friends and family.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's been great chatting with both of you, and I'm sure it's been super helpful for everybody who's watching, whether you are a wedding planner starting out or a bride or groom. I'm sure this has been very insightful. It has been for me, and we'd love to see you guys back again someday. All the best.
Absolutely.
We are thick in the middle of wedding season, so I know it's been hard for you to come here. Thank you so much for taking out your time.
Thank you for having me. And I'm going to rush right back to my families now.
Yes, I know
But-
you have a little baby waiting for you.
Yes, that maybe the next one should be about emotional status anxiety in weddings and what happens with women entrepreneur in there.
Absolutely.
But
I
right
can.
now, she's referring to the other babies, which are the families where bang in the middle of wedding season.
Always thinking about them first. But thank you so much for having me, guys. And congratulations on this lovely podcast that you're taking up for the
Thank you.
industry.
Thank you so much.